So I should be online right now. So hello and welcome to a new stream in which I am building a city in Classic. We are in version 15a and well, before I start, hello Red. Anyway, before I start building, I would like to show you the stuff that I had built in between the streams. Hello Neon Light. So the first thing I'll show you is behind me, which is the park. I started working on it in the last stream and finished it in between these streams. I've added some benches, trash cans, paths, or trees, bushes. I've added various types of trees. For example, I've added the cedar tree from Classic Plus and a tree that I believe looks like the small violet tree from InDev Plus. I've also added some variety them. Also some bridges connecting these islands of sorts. Here's, for example, a variation of the cedar tree. And if we continue, there's a large custom tree that I've built. I think it looks kind of good. Could be better, but I think it's good enough. Now, onto the second thing that I've built, which is a bit further. Thank you, Red. Glad you like it. Now, we are going to using the sidewalk. Anyway, to get to the second thing, there's also the bridge, but to get to the second thing, we need to cross the road. So we need to check if any cars are coming on, and then from the right, so we can cross. Anyway, here is the second thing that I have built. It's an observatory with some satellite dishes, with with a fence around it. There's like a guard booth where guard is that will let you in. You've got the two satellite dishes. I thought it would be cool to build something like this to do some sort of weird shapes. You've got one pointing up and one rotated sort of 45 degrees. It was kind of a complicated shape, but I'd say it turned out well enough. I was also thinking of adding a third one, but I feel like there isn't enough space for it. Anyway, here is a parking lot, a handicap space, and like a building for the researchers. So if I go in, there are like 4 rooms. Firstly, there's the room for resting, very good sort of fridge where the scientists or guards can keep their food, vending machine, shelves for storing stuff, table, some chairs. Next to it, workroom where you got the computer, monitor, table, chair, a cabinet for storing stuff, some papers, and I don't know, shelf. And over here we got some server computers for processing the data and storing the data from the satellites. And last but not least, bathroom, toilet, the sink, and some place to store the toilet paper. I think it turned out quite well. And the last interesting thing that I did was this bridge. And so I've added these roads so that garbage men can collect the trash from the apartment complex and the convenience store. and here is the bridge. I've tried to make it look like a drawbridge of sorts. Not sure if it's realistic, but I feel like it looks this way. Yes, it is a statue. It is something that I've built in the... This is the very first thing that I built in the first episode. I think it turned out quite well. Had a sword and a shield in the other hand. Anyway, I had also been doing some other stuff with planning. You can see some stones laid out. That's because I plan to put some roads where the stones are. They sort of go all around the world to various places. And I've also been doing some landscaping to sort of smooth out some of the terrain. For example, over here, I've loaded it quite a bit and got rid of some of the trees so that I have space to build there. Anyway, the last thing that I like to do is sort of show you this place from above. First of all, anyway, here it is from above. I feel like it's looking great so far. We got the park, bridge, houses, restaurant, apartment complex, satellites, lighthouse, the convenience store, statue, and the bridge. Of course, I still have more to build since there's a lot of space to be yet filled. Give me a second. There we go. For some reason the stream stats weren't showing for me. Now, before I start building, there is something I would like to talk about, which is sort of future of this series, of this world, which is that I don't plan to stay on the 0.0.15a version forever. I plan to expand this city in different classic versions. Basically, I plan to stay in a for now, and once I decide to I'm finished with it, I'll probably update to like 19a underscore or 6 and then continue updating until I reach 0.30, and which is special, not just because it's the last version of Classic, but also because I have got some plans prepared for it, and while that happens, I won't be able to play in this world, so instead I'll be playing with InDev, where I basically create a new world, which I'll use some sort of extension of this one. And once the thing that I have planned for 0.30 is finished and I'm done with my InDev world, I'll return here in 0.30, do some more building, and once I feel like this world is done, I'm gonna move on to InDev Plus, and then not InDev Plus, just InDev, and so on. Anyway, this is the rough plan. I might make like a community post which better explains it. But that's everything that I wanted to say. Now it is time to start some building. I've decided that the first thing that I'm gonna do in this stream is to build a dock and a ship that is placed over here. So let's get started. First, I'm gonna make sort of a outline to see how far the dog goes, and then replace some of the sand with blanks. I think this should be enough. I'm also going to have some sort of blocks more on the in the water, sort of. I currently don't really have a plan as to how I want this thing to look, so I'm gonna try to sort of wing it. I think this sort of size should be enough. Now I'm just gonna add some locks to make it look like they're holding this thing up. Oh, dress. Thank you for that. I also think it looks nice. Hopefully I'll be able to make it even nicer in the future. Now I want to ship. I just need to decide the size. I think should end somewhere over here. It will probably be a bit unrealistic, but I'd say it's fine. I think this sort of length should be good. I just need to decide the sort of shape that I want to go with. If you mean those trees, yes, I did. Uh, it's sort of a park. I'm talking about those trees, or those built by me. Anyway, bit nervous, but let's continue. Also, I hope that you are enjoying this series. I think right now if I want to, that I can length from it, although I think it should be long enough. Anyway, now it is time to sort of build the start adding more volume to it. First by going sort of below underwater. I'm not sure what kind of ship will it be. It will have sails, but aside from that, I don't really know. I'm just building a ship and seeing what I come up with. Will probably not be good or realistic, but I think it will be good. Maybe. And I'll use flux here. Well, I meant like realistic in the sense that it actually resembles an actual ship, and not just some random thing a kid might create. Anyway, I feel like this should be good. So now I'm gonna sort of connect it like so and remove the water. Yeah, it could be used for example for that. It's true. Although I feel like it always there's a question of how it got in and out, since I feel like it's definitely rather big. So it's a question of how it actually gets in and out of the port. The bridge isn't a problem since it's a drawbridge, so it can be sort of raised. Although now that I've noticed there's one extra cobblestone, I'm gonna get rid of it later. While it's bridge building time, boat building time. Oh, I'm not worried about it being a thing, I'm just more worried about like the turning radius, but it might be, not sure. Okay, see you right. Anyway, now that the shape is sort of done, I'm gonna try and add some windows sort of using leaves since I don't have any glass. I think it would be a good spot. Do these windows make sense? I don't know, but I'm placing them in. I'm also placing them in before I get rid of the water because if I wanted to do them after getting rid of the water, I'll just end up flooding the ship again. Anyway, now it is time to get rid of the water, and for it I'm going to use the classic technique of placing in sand and then getting rid of it. Oh yeah, I forgot that sand doesn't actually fall down into water or any of the liquids. They will be underwater, but I made them now once because if I were to make them after clearing the water, I would just flood the ship again. Although I should be placing in some planks instead of the top sand. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I thought it'd be really cool to sort of see underwater, see what's there. Maybe it's like a tourist ship, so people sort of it roams around and people can view what's underwater. Not sure. It's just a cool ship. Hopefully it will be a cool ship. Maybe. Maybe once I get like the sponges in the next version. But for that I might need to clear out more of the water. And if I build a coral reef, I'll probably also need to wait for the wall or wall to be added. Anyway, I'll think about it and see what I decided to do. And now it's time to dig away all of the sand, and just need to be careful not to break any of the planks. And there we go, it is cleared. I also look outside. Anyway, first I'm gonna work on like sort of top side things. Oops, this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Now, for something I'm gonna add some blocks around the ship as sort of rail. Ah, can remember words. And I'm also gonna make like the bridge where the captain stands. Guess it should. Maybe a good idea to raise it since that way I get more space below. Although maybe I should keep the locks. I think that might look better. There we go. Save my position so that I can get back if I fall accidentally. Also, while building this, I have just realized that there is a way I could have sort of done the windows after draining the water without flooding this place, which is by sort of adding a sort of block, some blocks on the inside that would block the water, and then just breaking this block and just replacing it with leaves. And this way I could create the windows. I think I'm gonna expand them. Oh, these in the back. And I didn't place the block, did I? There's another thing that I'm also thinking of doing. Just sort of adding some lines out of blocks over here. It might look cool. So I'm gonna try that. Just gonna need to place in some blocks to prevent the water from flooding this place. Here's what I meant by the lines of blocks. It looks kind of nice. Now the other side. There we go. And now I just need to get rid of the placeholder, these blocks. And continue working on the top side by adding the bridge as I said. Let's see, I think that should be enough. Oh, big enough. I can also add some blocks for decoration. Like that. I've miscalculated it a bit the first time. And over here is the wheel, rather big and not wheel shaped, but I'd say it's good. Good enough. And we have like the captain's quarters with view to the outside. Already pretend that there's some glass here. Now some locks onto these sides. Now I'm also going to extend this thing a bit. There we go. I think the shape looks nice. Now the next thing I can add are the masts with the sails, or at least I'm gonna try to make them. I need to decide how tall I would want to make them. Maybe a bit taller. Be good. I could try that. But first, I'm gonna finish the mast. Not sure. I think 3 blocks shorter might be good. I feel like this might be good enough. And for the sails, I'm going to use some stone. A simpler shape like this should be good enough. Although I think I need to add a second smaller sail above it. It's kind of weird like this. And maybe also another solid thread of it. Well, time to build. Let's see how high can I go. Yeah, I think a high enough blocks could help. Just need to get there. Yeah, I think that does look nicer. Ah, no, just need to see. Well, that's definitely too high. Now we're just gonna do some mirroring and make the second sail a bit smaller. Now this sail is 7 blocks tall, so I think I'm gonna make the second sail 5 blocks tall and make it sort of 2 blocks away from the front sail. I think like this should be good. And also make it thinner, like 1 block on each side. Now let's take a look at it from the side, from the front. I think this sort of size is nice. Although of course I made a mistake. There we go. Should be a bit like this. I'm also gonna make the mast up look smaller. Now Let's take a look at it again. And I think it looks nice. So now I'm gonna add a second mast. Let's see where. Let's see. Nothing gets too close. I think this should be good enough. I'll make it maybe slightly smaller. Mast slightly smaller than over here. Oh, let's see. And I've made a mistake again, of course. I think it should be good like this. Maybe if I blend it way better, but I'd say it should be good enough. And now the sail. There we go. I think it looks nice. Maybe I might I was thinking of extending this mask, but I think it should be good enough. Maybe the last thing that adding, I'm thinking of adding a crow's nest to the top. So I'm gonna try that. But right now it's time to try and build the crow's nest. I think it looks yeah, I think it looks nice. Just gonna add a bit more details to it. If I stop falling, that is. Yeah, I think that looks better. Now, there's one more thing that I'm thinking of adding. And that is a flag at the top. It looks quite cool, even when it put flat. Now it's time to return back on the ship. But first I'm gonna add sort of plank that you can use to get on it. There we go. And now it is time to try and expand the captain's quarters, as he suggested. Oh, see. So like sort of making this place up should be fine like this. But first I need to view it from this side, and yeah, definitely looks better. I'm also gonna add a bit of a shape to the back. And also a rudder. There we go. Ah, I think it's looking good. Just gonna add the furniture back to the captain's office, captain's quarters. And now it's time to clear the water again. And now we just need to clear it all. There we go. Clear it for the second time. Let's just hope that I don't flood it for a second time. So, next thing that I'm gonna do is decide where I want the entrance. I think I'm gonna make it sort of to the side. Oh, maybe not here. Well, I think for the entrance, this might be the best. Or maybe I can make to this side. Or this could be a good place. There we go. I think that should be good enough for an entrance. Now we're just gonna divide it into parts. And also raise the floor a bit so that it's not curved like that. And Not sure which carpet to put inside. Maybe just some seating. It is probably, well, there probably wouldn't be any sleeping quarters since this isn't a ship for like traveling far away. Maybe. And this should be good enough. Can't really think of anything what to do here. So just got some tables, chairs, and yeah, I need now I just need to go back to captain's quarters and re-add the table and chair. And I think it should be good enough for the ship. I think it turned out quite well. Anyway, now with the ship finished, the the ship is now finished. I'd say it was quite fun to build, and now it is time to move on to some boring stuff, which is to build some roads. Basically, I like getting these roads will help me decide where I want to build stuff and what I want to build. Just gonna that's better. Anyway, now I'm gonna work on some roads, which might be a bit boring but necessary, and I will work on them for the rest of the stream. So just need to clear out some space for them. Plan is to have the road be 5 blocks wide with some sidewalks next to them. Sidewalks will be made of gravel, of course. I think the road building will be probably the last thing that I do in A. So I think in the next update, next stream, I'll probably be on a new version. while I'm digging this area, I would like to talk a bit about the other series that I have. Currently, I'm working on the InDev Plus series, and my plan is that once I finish that, I'm going to make a Classic Plus series where I try to figure out how to obtain all of the different blocks that are in the mod. I've tried to figure out the different crafting recipes and make a series out of that. After that, I plan to do a short InDev Plus series. It's a challenge. I got a challenge prepared that I want to do, which is a challenge where I can't go into the overworld and I start in the Crimson Dimension. I think that will be interesting. So those are my current plans for the video series. I think it will be interesting. And once I'm finished with those two series, I plan to replay InDev Plus again, this time with Portals. I haven't yet uploaded the newest episode of the InDev Plus series, but in that I mentioned that I plan to stay on the same version, which doesn't yet have the portals, and I will have a separate series in which I play with the portals. Anyway, that's about everything that I wanted to mention. As you can see, we are currently at the boring part of the stream. I was thinking of adding a rail, but I feel like I probably won't add it. Not sure yet, since I feel like a railroad would be too big. Since if I were to add rails, they would probably have to either like sort of like this, kind of like this. But I feel like that's sort of too big for the environment. So I feel like the only thing that I'm going to add like are like the roads and maybe also add some of bus stops to places where they can fit. And as I said, I considered rails, but I feel like they wouldn't fit the way I would like to make them. But I'm still thinking about like the bus stop and other stuff. And maybe in the future I might also build an airport. Anyway, I'm still thinking about the stuff that I wanted to add. So still planning the things that I want to do. So if you have any suggestions, then you should also try suggesting them. I'll just need to work out this vent over here. This should be good enough. Although, now that I'm thinking about the rails, maybe I could add a like monorail, which would be sort of above ground, or I mean, sort of, should I call it? Well, not underground, just above ground. Might be interesting. I'm gonna keep the monorail idea some thought and decide if I want to build it. Maybe, for example, crossing various places. Anyway, now it's time to do some road building. Also, saying when talking about the monorail idea, I've just thought of a question, which is what sort of era is this city in? It's like definitely in the modern era, since like, I've got like the satellite dishes, but I also got like these bridges. So this is like 70s, 80s, 90s, into 21st century. Oh, uh, when is this? When is this city in? Oh, I don't really care, but just thought it's an interesting question. Like I feel like the nice thing about this project is that I can sort of walk around the map and look from the city from far away and get sort of, let's say it looks cool from far away. Just cool seeing it from different places on the map. Not sure why I was going with it, but anyway, it will be even cooler once I add more stuff to this world. Another thing that I'm also considering adding to the city are source. Maybe I could start. I'm still thinking about them. It could be like a good way of traveling across the city in the future versions. Once I get to like the versions in which there are boats, I could have like the source work as some underground waterways. I would like I would have like a tunnel with water at the bottom, which I would just use to travel between the different parts of this world. But that would be a rather big project since I would need to dig out quite a lot of tunnels. So I'm still considering that. And of course this road is being wrong with. We are almost at the 2 hour mark. There are only 10 minutes remaining to that, which means about 10 minutes of the stream remaining, which means that I don't think that Red will return to the stream again, so I'm probably gonna send a screenshot. So I probably won't see the ship that I built, so I'll probably send a screenshot of it on Discord. Anyway, I'll continue building the roads for the rest of the stream. Now I just need to decide what would be a good slope for this road. Go up. This seems good. Anyway, as you can see, we have hit the 2 hour marks. 2 hour mark, so that will be it for this stream. I still have more road building to do, which I'm gonna do off stream. I also might update, so the next stream might be in a different version. I'm gonna decide on that, and I'm also going to think about the monorail idea, which I've talked about, since I feel like that will be cool, cooler than a classic rail. But anyway, that's everything that I wanted to say. So yeah, there's still more. There are still more things that I want to do in this world. Well, Pixel up. Anyway, unfortunately, you've joined at the end of the stream. But anyway, I'll see you in the next stream.